couple of weeks into this process, okay, they found out that you have this disease that has taken over your eyes.
Yeah.
My God, how did you feel at that moment?
I still thought that they could fix it.
Mm.
I still thought, hey, it's okay, I can still be fixed. The moment that it hit me that it wasn't going to be fixed was when my parents were like, Mike cleaned up the whole room and everything, and he was like, I'm gonna go home and get everything like set up, because we had to go to his sister's house to live there because we needed help with the boys. And I got in the car with my parents, and just being in the car, that's when it hit me. Like, nothing's changing. I just started crying, thinking like...
Were you mad?
I was so angry. I was questioning everything. I was just wondering, why me? Like, I have so much passion and drive in me, and I loved photography. Like, I am not joking. I loved it. Like, you didn't even have to pay me. I just wanted to do it because it makes me happy. It makes me so happy. So
obviously, it's not just the impact that you have, that it has on your persona, on yourself, but the impact, the fact that you have your parents, the fact that you have your children, and you mentioned you have 3 kids, correct?
yes.
And your husband. How did it impact them?
I feel so bad even when I think about it all. My kids had to grow up pretty fast. My youngest, he was 7 months old when I first got sick. And my oldest, he was 5. And he's about to turn 8 coming up. So it was just, they had to grow up a lot. And then my husband, I mean, he just wants to fix it and he can't. So it's just one of those, like, it's just really hard for a man, you know?
Yeah. And I think I'm going to speak for myself, you know, or maybe how your husband was feeling at the time, because us men would like to take the pain away. We like to, you know, here, give it to me, I'll deal with it, you know? And I think psychologically, you know, it's a lot for us also. Like, you know, watching the birth of our children, you know, I wish I can do something, but there's nothing we can do, you know?
I totally agree, and that's when I think about my parents too. If this was going on with my kids, I could not imagine. And then I'm their baby girl. Like, my parents have had to just change everything, because I used to just stop by my parents' house like 5 times a week just to be like, hey, what's up? You know, like, what's for dinner? You know? And now everyone's life is just completely changed. I was actually in a wheelchair for quite a while because my legs stopped working. And what do my parents do? They go and they install this thing on their steps so I can just sit on it and go all the way up the stairs.
Your leg stopped working?
Yeah,
Why?
I ended up getting Lofgren syndrome. It's a part of sarcoidosis. So it goes from like your knees all the way down. I just turned black and blue. And I just couldn't walk anymore. It was really hard.
Do you feel any pain during that?
Oh yeah, I was having a lot of pain. Like my legs, it was just felt like they were stretching like crazy. Nothing really worked. It was insane. But I forced myself, I will say. My kids were back in school, so I wanted to make sure that I could still be there for them and help them get ready for school, just because I didn't want their aunt doing it all for them. So we were at the basement at their house. I would have a wheelchair at the bottom and then one at the top, and I would just push myself up the stairs every single morning, and I would do it. And then when I would finish, I was exhausted, but I did it.
You said that you went through a stage of depression.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? Can you tell the audience a little bit about that?
So I was in the deepest, darkest depression of my life for about 3 straight months. I didn't want to be a mom. I had a suicide plan. I had everything ready. And then my dad just goes, I was talking to him one day and he was just like, Ashley, you need to get out of that basement. Like, I love your in-laws and everything that they're doing for you, but you need to change something. And I think he just knows me, that he knows I wasn't mentally okay. So he was just trying to help me before I took care of it myself. And I listened to him. He was just like, you have kids that are looking up to you, babe. Like, you got to do it. So I did it.
But you made a choice to listen to your father, because a lot of people would probably say something like, especially when you're going through major depression, you don't understand me, you don't know what I'm going through.
My dad lost his mom very young. So did my mom, lost her dad really young. So I just think about how that affected them, and I don't want that on my kids.
And I was going to ask you that. How do you think kids and your husband felt at the time? Like, see you depressed, that you don't want to do anything, you want to stay in the basement, you don't feel like, being a part of the family, you don't feel like socializing. Did that affect them?
Absolutely. The kids, I feel like it affected them a lot because they were used to having their mom do everything and go everywhere and be so involved with everything, and then all of a sudden I just kind of like shut off and I wasn't there for a few months. And then Mike, my husband, he has been through the ringer, you guys. Like, I don't know how he stayed with all of us, really.
I was going to ask you that in situations like that, some people will give up. Some people will say,
I tell them all the time,
I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I love my children. I'm either taking my kids, or you can keep the kids. I'm gone.
Yeah. I told him that when I first got sick, and I still tell him that all the time, like, because I know this isn't the life that he wanted. But he hasn't done it yet, so that's good.
It could be hard, very difficult, but you guys still together.
Yeah.
You're working things out. We don't, and you don't have to go into details about your personal life like that. But you are still a couple, and I'm assuming 15 years. Yeah. I mean,
well, kudos to your husband.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know his name, but Jesus, man, you are a champion among champions.
We picture ourselves being happy, rainbows, and dancing in the rain and things like that. You dancing in the rain? Oh, I have many times. You can ask my wife. I tell my grandson we can even shower in the rain, but he doesn't want to believe me that we can do that. But that's what we see.
Well,
the perfect life.
I am trying to figure out how you keep such a positive attitude, because before we started the podcast, you had me, I was cracking up listening to you, and I was like, oh my God, is she faking this? I was like, how can you be so happy? How can you have such a great, happy attitude?
That was just me. Like, that's always just been me. And then when I got sick, I was down and out, but then once I started sharing my story, I realized that I was doing something good. I have a purpose. I started my TikTok, and my whole family thought I was crazy, y'all. Like, my husband was like, Ashley, you're putting way too much out there. And I was like, just trust me. Like, if I feel like I'm helping people, next thing you know, I get a message, someone saying like, because of you, I heard your story, I didn't kill myself.
Wow.
I was like, I'm going to keep doing it. So
see,
I haven't
you were mad, you were upset, you were depressed, asking why you? Why did this happen to you when you had a passion for photography?
Yes.
Now, I think that was your answer to why. You actually saved and kept someone from taking his or her life away.
That's what I remember calling my best friend, Casey, and I said, you know what? No matter how sad and crazy I've been since I got sick, and I miss photography, but hearing someone tell me that is way better than hearing the sound of my camera or the shutter button, or handing my work over and the customer say, oh, thank you for capturing these moments. Heck no, I don't care about that anymore. I'm just glad there's people living, because they have more faith
Mm-hmm.
to do hard things.
Yes. I follow you on social media and all that, and just seeing you interact, with cell phone, cameras, whatever you use, I'm sure you probably have a better setup than we do, but, you're sending the message across, to people that might be down, depressed, wondering why, how much longer.
Listen, what are you trying to get for free?
I don't know, whatever she can help us with. You're sending a positive message. Every single time you get on social media and do something, it's always positive.
I know where I was at when I first got sick. And I wish I had a little pep person like myself in my ear. So that's what I want to be for others, because I know how hard it is. It is so, so, so hard to come up from rock bottom. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's crazy.
Before we get, I like to get into the social media a little bit. Obviously, you're an amazing person. You're strong. You have an amazing husband. You have amazing children, amazing parents. I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about your parents for us to know them a little bit more.
Yes. My mom works up at the VA and she's a doctor. That's where I get my drive from. She got diagnosed with a brain tumor and she was told she only had a couple years to live, and she decided to go to school for it, and she's still here with her brain tumor, setting the example, being a hero, serving our community, taking care of veterans, doing all that. Like, that's
amazing.
Part of me.
How long ago was she told that she only had a few months or a couple of years?
It was 2 years.
2 years.
Yes. And then my dad, he's been the stay-at-home dad, and it's just me and my brother lives in Connecticut. He's about to get married. So my dad's like living the life, hunting, fishing, like being a grandpa, like, giving advice to me, telling me what not to do.
Obviously, your dad is a man of discipline.
Yes, my parents are both military. My mom is retired military, and my parents, when they discipline, they discipline. They don't.
So Ashley never did anything wrong, right?
I watched my brother. Yeah, we used to get our doors taken off. They never once spanked us, but we would lose privacy, so they would take our doors off. Okay.
I think I've done that before in the past.
Okay, so I want to get into the social media, but one thing that I mentioned to you was that probably about 8 years ago or so, I was exposed to pigeon droppings. And it got into my lungs, from my lungs into my bloodstream. And it took 3 or 4 doctors before they finally figured out what was going on. And the pigeon droppings caused this disease called histoplasmosis. I might be mispronouncing it, but and now because of it, and I have to exercise my lungs more than ever. I had a very difficult time breathing on my own, and I will lose consciousness until the last episode when they finally figured it out. I don't want to mention where it happened and all that, it's too long. But I end up with scar tissues in my lungs. And you scared me a little bit, because I was like, you said that it can actually...
That's what I have, yes. So my parents live off of 99th, and their neighbors had chickens, and they weren't supposed to have chickens, and they would, like, their poop, their droppings, like, that's what caused, like, my we call it histo, I know. Yeah.
Histo, yes.
Wow.
Now, tell us, because Mr. Cervantes here was talking to me about this great celebrity. I was like, what celebrity?
She is.
Tell me a little bit about your social media. What's going on there? What inspired to get you into this social media?
Well, after I got that message of someone saying, like, hey, you saved my life, like, thank you for sharing your story, I was like, I got a purpose, y'all. Like, I'm going to keep doing this. So I did it, and all of a sudden, I started getting more and more followers, and I grew a really good relationship with them. So then companies started reaching out to me because they could see how persistent I was, and they could see, like, I communicate really well with people. So if I want something, I'm going to go for it. And I did that with a couple companies. I just started tagging, like, Orcam. It's a device that goes on my glasses, and they ended up reaching out to me, and I was on Dr. Phil, and now I'm working for
Dr.
them.
Phil, are you serious?
Yes.
What, didn't I say that she was a celebrity?
Listen,
Was I lying?
No,
Okay.
I thought you were just pulling my leg.
But what about the camera that goes on your glasses? What is that?
It's an Orcam. So it's a device that attaches to my glasses, and it can identify who's in front of me. It'll tell me what time it is, the date. It'll read a newspaper. It'll read books. It'll read a menu.
Oh, wow.
It'll even tell you what color. Like, it's really cool. You just have to hold it down for a couple seconds, and it'll tell you the color.
Well, if Santiago will stand in front of that camera, I think the camera will have a problem.
Yeah, it will probably break.
Identifying
It will
who the
probably
person
break.
is. It's like, well, wait a minute. Let's go back a little more.
Now, can you see us at all?
I have light now, and I have outlines and shadows. So I went in for a stem cell treatment this past July.
Oh, wow.
So before that, it was just completely dark. I wasn't getting light or anything in my eyes. And then I went for that in July, and it took a couple months for me to finally start getting, for the medicine to start working or whatever. And I was sitting out on the trampoline, and I just opened my eyes up, and all of a sudden I could see the tree line, and I was like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, I just started, like, it was a crazy feeling, you know. I was just driving with my husband home from, or going to get a salad on Easter, and we were going down K7, and I could just see this thing with my eyes, and I was like, Mike, like, what is that? It just seems so bright. And he was like, oh my gosh, Ashley, like, that's a blue thing going all the way down K7 right there. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, it was crazy, y'all. Now I'm actually getting stuff in my eyes, like.
No, so you went for a stem cell. Is that something local in Kansas City?
No, so my doctors told me I wasn't going to be able to get, like, try and go in for a stem cell treatment or anything for 5 to 10 years. They just wanted to make sure that my eyes and everything were going to stay in remission. Well, when I went to my rheumatologist and everything was showing up on my lungs, I don't have 10 years to live once it gets to all that. So I went to my eye doctor, and I just said, hey, I want to try and see my kids before I have to die. Like, I want to be able to look at my husband again. I want to just see my parents, you know? Like, my dad has always had long hair, and he just cut it for the first time since I lost my vision. I've never seen him with short hair, ever in my life. So I went to the eye doctor, and I told him, and he said, okay, well then we'll start looking for a stem cell place for you. I was like, okay. And I did all this research, Mike and I did. We were calling all these people, and I found someone down in Florida, and got accepted within 8 hours. And then it just so happened to be these people I used to take photos for. It was like 7 minutes from where I was having the surgery, and they let us stay there for free and gave us a BMW. Like, it was crazy.
Wow.
So this disease is also in your lungs, and inevitably and unfortunately it will be terminal. Can the stem cells stop the advancement of this disease?
I don't really know that. The stem cells are a very tricky situation, just because, like, there's people that have gone out and had the stem cells, and they're saying, hey, their eyes didn't get fixed. But I wouldn't have gone in for a stem cell treatment if I could still see, you know? So I was desperate. I needed it. There's another lady down in Texas who went in for the stem cell treatment 2 or 3 times. She had the same exact thing happen to her that happened to me. And she's now running her own restaurant.
Wow. So there is hope.
Oh, yes, there's hope. That's I
yes.
hold on to hope from her.
That's awesome.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so tell us about TikTok. What's going on there? When did you start this? And where has it taken you?
I started in July. I found out I was going to be, I started it in June because I found out I was going to be accepted into my stem cell treatment. And I was like, I'm just going to tell the world and see if they want to follow along and go for it. And everyone just wasn't interested in it. I think it's just because I saw like a bunch of like blood in my eyes. Everyone was like, do you have tattoos in your eyes? And I'm like, no, like, no. So yeah.
So you are on TikTok, and do you produce a video a week, every day? How does that work for you?
So I had to at the beginning. I didn't have to, but I would shoot at least 3 videos a day, and then the certain times I could see like when is the best time for my audience and stuff. And then I hit a creator status after I hit so many followers, and I was actually getting paid for my views and just people interacting and liking my videos. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and continued.
So you became a big social media influencer.
Yes.
Wow.
Are you one too?
No, I'm not. I
don't want to talk to you anymore. Get out of here.
Why do you think
I can
she's
do
here
this
with
show
us?
with Ashley.
I want to learn from her. I want to learn, how to be there. It's just amazing how the Ashley that after losing your vision, you were depressed, you were down, unhappy, mad. Now the Ashley that we've seen throughout this year is just an opposite person. She's a happy person, positive, looking forward to something different every day.
You have this amazing aura around you that it inspires me. And I know you're inspiring already thousands of people through TikTok.
How many followers do you have? I'm sorry.
A little over 90,000 on
90,000.
How many do we have too? Just the two of us. Follow each other.
Three. With my wife. Yeah, my wife is
I
three.
forgot about your wife. I'm so sorry.
She is on there. She follows me. Oh man, she's so nice.